You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when someone looks right through you, when your words dissolve into the air like smoke, when you realize you're not even worth their contempt, just their indifference. There's a reason some people command attention while you fade into the background. A reason why your kindness gets mistaken for weakness, why your patience gets read as permission, why every compromise feels like another piece of yourself given away. Most people think power is about being liked, about being nice enough, good enough, pleasant enough. They're wrong. And that's why they're invisible. That's why they're forgotten before they even leave the room. 500 years ago, a man watched princes rise and fall like waves against stone. Nicolo Machiavelli didn't just observe power, he dissected it, held it up to the light, and saw what everyone else was too afraid to admit. In the blood-soaked halls of Renaissance Italy, he discovered a truth so uncomfortable that we still lie to ourselves about it today. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. But here's what they don't tell you about that quote. It's not the whole truth. It's only half the equation. Because Machiavelli knew something darker, something that most people who throw his name around never understood. Fear without wisdom creates enemies. And enemies wait. You see it everywhere now. The boss everyone secretly plots against. The colleague whose back is full of knives. The person who confused cruelty with strength and wonders why they're always looking over their shoulder. They learned to be feared, but forgot the most important rule: never be hated. In our world of corporate politics and social hierarchies, of power games played in conference rooms and group chats, we're all trying to matter. But most of us are doing it wrong. We're either too soft, doormats decorated with "please like me," or too harsh, burning bridges we'll need to cross again. So here's the question that matters. How do you become someone who cannot be ignored without becoming someone who cannot be tolerated? How do you walk that razor's edge between respect and resentment? Between power and poison? That's what we're diving into. That's where the real game begins. Machiavelli wasn't writing for tyrants. He was writing for survivors. For people who understood that in a world of wolves, being a sheep isn't virtuous. It's voluntary extinction. But he also knew that becoming a rabid dog wasn't the answer either. There's a precise calculus to human power dynamics, and most people can't do the math. Think about your own life. The meetings where your ideas die in your throat. The relationships where you give everything and receive scraps. The moments you replay at night, wishing you'd been different, stronger, more, something. You've been taught that being nice is enough, that if you're just good enough, kind enough, patient enough, the world will reward you. How's that working out? The truth Machiavelli understood is that respect isn't given, it's taken. But not through brutality, not through backstabbing, through something far more sophisticated, through understanding the hidden architecture of human psychology. Fear, properly applied, isn't about making people afraid of you. It's about making them afraid of losing you, of crossing you, of underestimating you. It's the difference between a guard dog and a wolf. One is chained, predictable, ultimately controllable. The other chooses to let you pass. But this is where most people fail. They think fear means aggression. They think power means domination. So they push too hard, take too much, burn too bright. They mistake being hated for being feared. And hatred is patient. Hatred remembers. Hatred waits for the perfect moment to strike back. In Florence, Machiavelli watched the Medici family master this balance for generations. They were bankers, not warriors. They ruled not through swords, but through calculated generosity and strategic pressure. When they were kind, it felt like sunshine. When they withdrew their favor, it felt like winter. They made themselves essential, then they made themselves untouchable. But even they forgot the rule. Lorenzo the Magnificent's son, Piero, pushed too hard. He confused his inherited power with personal strength. He created hatred where his father had cultivated fear. Within 2 years, the family that had ruled Florence for 60 years was in exile. This is the paradox of power. The moment you abuse it is the moment you begin to lose it. So how do you walk this line? How do you become respected and feared without crossing into hatred? Machiavelli's answer isn't what you'd expect. It's not about being cruel. It's about being precise. First, understand this. Respect is built on competence. Fear is built on consequences. Hatred is built on humiliation. Most people who try to be powerful skip straight to humiliation. They belittle others. They gloat. They make their strength felt through others' weakness. This is the path of the fool. True Machiavellian power works differently. When you must be harsh, be swift and impersonal, like a surgeon cutting out disease, necessary, precise, without enjoyment. When you show kindness, make it memorable. Let your generosity be talked about. Let your fairness become legend. The feared person everyone respects doesn't threaten. They demonstrate. They don't say, "I could destroy you." They simply make it clear through their actions that crossing them has consequences. Natural consequences. Inevitable ones. Think of water. Water doesn't threaten the rock. It simply flows around it, over it, through it. Given enough time, the rock becomes sand. That's the kind of power Machiavelli understood. Not the flash of lightning, but the persistence of rain. In modern terms, this means something specific. When someone disrespects you, you don't explode. You don't sulk. You simply withdraw. Your energy, your expertise, your support, gone. Not with drama, not with speeches, just absence. The absence of something they didn't realize they needed until it wasn't there. When you help someone, you make sure they know it. Not through boasting, but through the quiet acknowledgement of investment. I'm putting my reputation on the line for you. I'm choosing to spend my limited time on this. You make your contributions visible without making them theatrical. And here's the crucial part. You must be willing to forgive, but never forget. Machiavelli knew that eternal grudges create eternal enemies, but eternal forgetfulness creates eternal victims. The balance is this. You give people one chance to correct their behavior. 1. Make it clear through your actions that redemption is possible but not inevitable. That your goodwill, once lost, requires effort to restore. This isn't manipulation. This is navigation. In a world where everyone's playing games whether they admit it or not, you're simply choosing to play with your eyes open. But here's what Machiavelli understood that most modern power players don't. True power isn't about controlling others. It's about being uncontrollable yourself. The person who is truly feared in the right way isn't the one who crushes others. It's the one who cannot be crushed. They can't be bought because they know their worth. They can't be bullied because they've set their boundaries in stone. They can't be ignored because their absence creates problems. They've made themselves into a force of nature, not through cruelty, but through consistency. This is why being hated is the ultimate failure. Hatred means you've revealed yourself as small. as petty, as someone who needs to diminish others to feel large. The truly powerful person has no need for this. They're playing a different game entirely. When you're respected and appropriately feared, people think twice before crossing you. Not because you'll destroy them, but because they'll lose something valuable. Your trust, your effort, your alliance. You become someone whose good side is worth staying on, not because you're nice, but because you're necessary. Everyone sees what you appear to be, Machiavelli wrote. Few experience what you really are. This isn't about deception. It's about depth. It's about being more than your surface. Kind, but not weak. Strong, but not cruel. Present, but not desperate. The real tragedy isn't that we live in a Machiavellian world. It's that most people are playing the game badly. They're either sheep pretending the wolves don't exist, or they're wannabe wolves who don't realize they're just louder sheep. They create hatred thinking it's fear. They mistake being disliked for being powerful. You want to know why you're overlooked? It's not because you're too nice. It's because you're inconsistent. You set boundaries and then move them. You make threats you don't follow through on. You give your power away in handfuls, then wonder why your hands are empty. The person who is respected and feared doesn't do this. They know their worth, and they charge full price. They're generous with those who deserve it, and distant from those who don't. They don't need to be cruel because their standards are clear. Cross them once, and you'll feel the shift. Not anger, not revenge, just the cold recognition that you've moved yourself from asset to obstacle. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you've always been, just with better boundaries, with clearer consequences, with the understanding that into the economy of human interaction, you teach people how to treat you with every response you give. So where does this leave you? Standing at the crossroads where Machiavelli stood, seeing the world not as you wish it was, but as it actually is. You can keep being invisible, hoping that someday your kindness will be rewarded. Or you can accept the darker truth. Power respects power. Strength recognizes strength. And in a world of games, the only way to win is to play better than everyone else. But remember the warning written in every fallen empire, whispered by every toppled king. The moment you're hated is the moment your countdown begins. Fear is a tool. Respect is a foundation. But hatred is a lit fuse, and it always finds its way back to the hand that lit it. Men are so simple, Machiavelli wrote, and so ready to obey present necessities. You can be that necessity, the person others factor into their equations, the one they think twice about crossing. Not through cruelty, but through clarity. Not through hatred, but through the precise application of consequence and reward. The choice is yours. Stay soft and wonder why you're stepped on. Become hard and wonder why you're alone. Or find that narrow path between them, where respect and fear dance together, and hatred never gets an invitation. After all, in a world where everyone wears masks, the most dangerous person isn't the one with the scariest face. It's the one who chose their mask wisely